You may have your seats. Good morning, and before we get into the formal program, please pay attention to the following safety briefing from the Hyatt Regency.
Welcome to the Hyatt Regency Trinidad. Your safety and well-being during your time with us is our first main priority. Therefore, it is essential and necessary that you are familiar with our emergency evacuation procedures. Should it become necessary to evacuate the hotel, a continuous siren will sound, followed by an audible instruction to evacuate the building. When you hear, "May I have your attention please," over the public announcement system, you should proceed to the exit closest to you and make your way to the muster point, proceeding east along the waterfront towards the western end of the Femme du Chalet, better known as the Breakfast Shed. In the event of an earthquake, do not run out of the building. Stay calm, drop, cover, and hold on. If evacuation is required, please listen for instructions via the hotel's PA system for the earthquake evacuation route and muster point. Associates from Hyatt will assist you with evacuating. Once outside, conduct a head count for your group to ensure that everyone is accounted for. Should you believe someone is missing, notify the Hyatt associate in your area. Do not return to the building for any reason until the fire service has stated it is safe to do so. Thank you. Be safe and have an enjoyable time with us.
Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and remain standing for the prayer which will be delivered by Mr. Visham Ramsawak, Senior Communications Officer. Please remain standing.
Good morning, shall we pray? Almighty God, creator of the universe, we thank you for spared lives today and for granting us the opportunity to participate in the Ministry of Education's digital transformation launch. We ask for a special blessing on our Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, Ministers of Education, Dr. Nian Gaspy-Dolly and Elisa Morris-Julian, other Ministers of Government, policymakers, education stakeholders, and everyone involved in making decisions within the education sector. We pray for your blessings on this digital transformation initiative, that it will be of significant benefit to our students, teachers, principals, parents, and all education partners. Help us, O God, to make our beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago, the kind of place you want it to be, a place where human dignity is respected, where equal rights are accorded to all citizens, where hard work is encouraged and rewarded, and where you, God, reign supreme. Thank you.
You may have your seats. Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. the Honorable Nian Gatsby-Dolly, Minister of Education. Senator the Honorable Hassel Backus, Minister of Digital Transformation. The Honorable Penelope Beckles, Minister of Planning and Development. Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration. The Honorable Lisa Morris-Julian, Minister in the Ministry of Education. Mr. Kurt Meyer, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education. Ms. Jacqueline Charles, Permanent Secretary, Office of the Prime Minister. Mr. Ryan Ramcharan, Deputy Permanent Secretary, here representing the Honorable Donna Cox, Minister of Social Development and Family Services. Dr. Peter Smith, Chief Education Officer, heads of department and staff of the Ministry of Education. Representatives from international organizations present here with us this morning, and representatives of the denominational boards and other education stakeholders, especially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rodel Phillips-Simmons. I am the Corporate Communications Manager at the Ministry of Education and one of two hosts for this morning's launch event. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you to the official launch of MOE ACCESS, the Ministry of Education's Digital Transformation Program. I'm excited to share all the exciting projects that the dynamic team at the Ministry of Education has developed as we seek to unlock the future of education. This short introduction brings an end to my time on stage for now, as I introduce my co-host, Sarah, who will guide us through the MOE ACCESS journey. Sarah, are you here?
Hi, Rodel. Yes, I am here. Good morning, Honourable Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, Honourable Ministers of Education Dr. Nian Gatsby-Dolly and Lisa Morris-Julian, Digital Transformation Minister, Senator the Honourable Hassel Backus, all other government ministers, PSs, staff, specially invited guests and members of the media. I am Sarah, the MOE's first AI employee and virtual assistant. Welcome to the launch of MOE ACCESS. As my first official task in this role, I invite Mr. Kurt Meyer, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, to deliver the welcome and opening remarks.
Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. the Honorable Nian Gatsby-Dolly, Minister of Education. The Honorable Penelope Beckles, Minister of Planning and Development. Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration. Senator the Honorable Hassel Backus, Minister of Digital Transformation. The Honorable Lisa Morris-Julian, Minister in the Ministry of Education. Permanent Secretaries, Deputy Permanent Secretaries. Dr. Peter Smith, Chief Education Officer, representatives of international agencies, representatives of denominational boards and other education stakeholders, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning. Today holds great significance as it represents a milestone in the Ministry of Education's digital transformation journey, as I welcome you to the launch of MOE ACCESS under the theme, The Future of Education. Even before the pandemic, a path towards digitization was underway. COVID-19 merely expedited the need to increase access. We learned from that experience, and one of the main teachings was that transforming the education system calls for all hands on deck. I am therefore very happy to see the representatives of so many of our educational stakeholder groups here today. They have worked with us to pilot, to test, to scrutinize many of the projects that we now are going to officially launch today. Today's launch is by no means the end. Our agenda continues not only with the projects we have in the pipeline, but as our country's digital transformation agenda evolves, so will the Ministry of Education's agenda. With this initiative here today, we aim to harness the power of technology to transform education in our country. The Ministry of Education envisages a future where every student has high access to high-end digital resources, a personalized learning experience, and the skills they need to exist in a digital age. Furthermore, the ministry understands the critical role the teachers play in shaping our future. And as such, our new toolkits involve training modules to provide teachers with the support that they will need. Currently, we have 18 projects in the digital transformation program. Most have been with us for a while. New projects are being conceptualized on a daily basis based on client, student need. The point is we have come very far, but we have more work to do. And from the further improvements, this work will involve things as simple as a complete build-out and rollout of the IRIS system to making all of our students' textbooks available online. And to do this, we need the right people. And we are very lucky in the Ministry of Education because we have the right people. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the work of the stellar teams who contributed to this success. Those who dreamed of better ways of doing things, those who mapped out new solutions, those who spent long nights writing code in dark rooms, the teams that stayed up troubleshooting, those who found ways to counter attacks to our systems, the teachers and principals who were the first users, the copywriters who gave feedback. I say thank you. There are many teams who contributed across the system, but I wish to make special mention of a few here today. And I'd like these teams to stand and be acknowledged. The ICT DevOps team, please stand. The former ICT Director of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Corey Belfort. We're co-opting you for today only, sir. The IRIS team. Don't be shy, please. The Educational Technology Unit, Communications Division. We say thank you, and we applaud your work that you have done. And a personal note, I thank you. It has been a wonderful experience working with each and every one of you. I urge all of you present here today to take the message back to your various agencies. Come join us in the ministry as we work to unlock in the future of our children's education. MOE cannot do this alone, and we're willing to partner to make the education system a true success. Ladies and gentlemen, with these remarks, I thank you for your attention and formally introduce you to MOE ACCESS, Systems, Services, and Solutions. Thank you.
The Ministry of Education introduces its new way to do business. With a focus on improved service delivery, we created a seamless, effortless, quick, and highly responsive experience. Introducing MOE ACCESS. With its 3 supporting pillars, the MOE has launched MOE ACCESS Services, focused on customer-facing service delivery. MOE ACCESS Systems, focused on operational efficiencies. MOE ACCESS Solutions, focused on solving internal and external resource issues. With 5 e-portals and e-services still under development, to improve student literacy and numeracy, advance curriculum delivery, and completely digitize the scholarship and bursary selection process. Through our digital transformation program, we set out to innovate and expand existing processes and systems, integrating them into a digital world for a faster delivery to you. The new online portals significantly advance the transformation of the education system and represents a progressive perspective on learning. MOE ACCESS, unlocking the future of education.
That teaser only touches the surface of what is to come. We have so much more to share about MOE ACCESS. But first, let's welcome Senator the Honorable Hassel Bacchus, Minister of Digital Transformation, to deliver remarks.
Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gaspidoli, Minister of Education, the Honorable Penelope Rickles, Minister of Planning and Development, Honorable Senator Allenton West, Minister of Public Administration, Honorable Lisa Morris-Julian, Minister in the Ministry of Education, the Assemblyman Zorisha Hackett, Secretary of Education and Research Technology, Tobago House of Assembly, Mr. Kurt Meyer, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, other Permanent Secretaries, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Dr. Peter Smith, Chief Education Officer, heads of departments, and other staff at the Ministry of Education, representatives of international agencies, representatives of the denomination boards, other education stakeholders, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning. It really is a great pleasure to be here and see so many of us gathered together at this launch of MOE Access. It's the first time I think I've been introduced by something that is that digital in Trinidad and Tobago. So to the ministry, I compliment you on your innovation. I, of course, must acknowledge the excellent work of my colleague, Dr. Nyan Gaspidoli, and her team at the Ministry of Education for the conceptualizing of this program and getting it to the point where it's formally launched today. The theme of this event, Unlocking the Future, goes directly to the heart of what we seek to accomplish in the nexus between education and digital technology, and it is indeed a nexus. Education is about shaping our next generation of leaders, thinkers, and doers, and to ensure that they're equipped with the necessary knowledge, skills, and most important of all, the positive values that will enable them to take Trinidad and Tobago to the next level. So digital technology is this cross-cutting enabler that, when properly applied, acts as a force multiplier by exponentially increasing our ability to share and analyze information and communicate and network with each other. And so, in doing that, we identify and address these seemingly intractable issues and problems, and we get to solutions where there are concerns. When these forces converge, we provide our young people, and I must compliment the ministry and comment on it myself, in acknowledging the teams that stood, the amount of young people that are involved in this. Technology really is a young person's game, and the ministry will do very well by these young people. We have been adopting a similar approach across all our ministries, as said and instructed almost by the Prime Minister himself. But by the simple and not so obvious mechanism of bundling a diverse suite of critical technology and interventions under one single program, as is done here, the Ministry of Education is now well positioned, both strategically and operationally, to realize the efficiencies and value add that come through economies of scale and the alignment of technical, administrative, and other resources. Let me talk a bit, especially for the young people, and I want to say this without really any way that anybody could say different. Trinidad and Tobago is world-class. And by that I mean history has convincingly demonstrated that at the end of the day, every country's most precious natural resource is the creativity, innovative capacity, and commitment of its people. Trinidad and Tobago is no exception to this rule. We have been blessed by the quality of our citizens, many of whom are considered world-class. So, just to give you a bit of the history for those maybe too young to have lived it like I have, or just to refresh some of us, it is no coincidence, and this is the tie between education and leadership, that two of the leaders closely associated with Trinidad and Tobago's independence, Dr. Rick Williams, of course, and Dr. Rugilda Capildero, also achieved international renown outside of the political arena. Dr. Williams was one of the most eminent historians and thinkers to have come from the Caribbean region, and quite astonishingly, As Prime Minister, he was able to successfully continue researching and publishing historical treatises while providing national leadership that led to him being regarded as the father of this nation. Similarly, Dr. Capebe was not only a political leader, but he was also an eminent mathematician of international repute with many publications to his name. You know, our accomplishments don't stick in only that academic era. Our accomplishments in Pan, Calypso, Chutney, and so on, in the performing arts, in the energy sector, in the sporting arena are well known the world over. But let me give you some examples, some of which you know and some of which you may not. So Vidya Naipaul, many know as the prize-winning author and Nobel laureate, QRC alumni. Ms. Camille Waldrop Allen, aerospace engineer and rocket scientist, currently works for NASA as the Associate Program Scientist for International Space Station, is also a St. Francois Girls alumni. Dr. Andre Cropper, which is the one I think I'm most surprised that most people don't know. Electrical engineer, notice Dr. Andre Cropper, award-winning engineer and inventor. He's the author and the patent of OLED touchscreen and synthetic diamonds, one of the materials and masterminds behind flat screen displays, touchscreens, etc. He's also a Fatima College alumni, and we're talking about these things. Dr. Andre Cropper had a significant hand in the development and production of these screens that we see that are used the world over. Heather Headley, singer, songwriter, record producer, actress, won both a Tony in 2000 and a Grammy in 2010. St. George's College alumni. Dr. Diva Amon, marine biologist, environmentalist, 2020 National Geographic Emerging Explorer. St. Joseph Comnen, Port of Spain alumni. So what I'm saying about this is Trinidad and Tobago is world class and is well established and is quite diverse, a true reflection of the diversity for which all of our society and culture is justly famous. They provide validation that if we get education right, there are no limits to what Trinidad and Tobago can accomplish. Again, no limits to what we can accomplish. A high priority has been placed on ensuring that digital education and education institutions and for the people who they employ and the services that they deliver are connected and online. I'll make mention of some of the statistics, but I'm sure Minister Gatsby will speak more of them. We have 134 secondary schools connected to the internet via government's wide area network. Some secondary schools benefit from internet provided by other ISPs to allow for some of this additional capacity that the ministry is putting into its platforms to be available and to use. The majority of our 450 primary schools are also connected to the internet via broadband. But this is the piece that is important to understand how all of us have to work together. 68 out of those 450 primary schools are in underserved or areas that are difficult to serve. Out of that 68, 49 of them already have been connected through the TT Wi-Fi program financed from the Universal Service Fund administered by the Trinidad and Tobago Telecommunication Authority. So even where it is difficult and proving almost impossible to do, we're finding ways to connect the underconnected. And soon, again, I'm sure we'll be doing the 142 early childhood centers coming up. This MOE Access program demonstrates the extent to which digital technology is infused into the education and beyond. And it's not just basic infrastructure and hardware, but significant levels of intelligence. The larger part of the MOE Access will be the digitization and digitalization initiatives that result in significant improvement in the quality of services that are available to educators, students, parents, and guardians. A simple example, earlier in 2022, the almost seamless introduction of the SEA Results app, through which SEA candidates were able to receive their results and discover their secondary school placements. All of this was done through the MOE's online portal. Straightforward as this may sound, this was no small feat, and is an achievement for which the Ministry of Education's development team, which, as was stated before, incidentally included the former director ICT at the MOE, who is now, and we are quite happy to have him, the current DPS at the Ministry of Digital Transformation. I am sure you are very proud of him, and I'm glad that he's here with us as well. He jumped from the frying pan into the fire. Digital government is one of the 3 pillars of digital transformation that have been identified on the digital transformation agenda. The others, of course, being the digital economy and the digital society. A key element to achieving all three is ensuring that citizens have access to digital technology and the ability and confidence to use technology is effectively transmitted to them, that they have the capability, the trust to do what they want. This includes ensuring that everyone has access to affordable broadband internet, and that is in keeping with the commitment of this government that broadband is a public good. Equally significant in defining and implementing the underlying architecture for digital transformation, we have a number of projects ongoing in the ministry. They include an interoperability framework that will connect all ministries, departments, and agencies together. We're putting in an upgraded government portal. There's a government cloud solution that is being built. There's an e-identity program that has been approved recently, and you'll hear more about that in the coming week. Once this infrastructure and the skill transfer associated with it is in place, citizens will now be equipped with the capabilities to understand how to use digitized government services, including all of those that are being built by the Ministry of Education. To guarantee the rigor and robustness in this framework and to ensure that we earn our citizens' trust in these systems, the MDT has developed an e-services maturity framework that assesses the quality of e-services offered by the government to the public. The framework ranks services according to sophistication, with level 1, of course, being quite basic, and level 4 being end-to-end services, meaning citizens can initiate and complete entire services online, including making the payments and even getting delivery of the service itself. The services maturity framework is currently tracking about 170 government e-service systems, and as the Ministry of Education rolls out more, those will be added to that framework for tracking. This number is expected to increase to about 500 within the next year and a half. As is evident, there is a close alignment between education and technology, and by extension, the MOE ACCESS program and several initiatives that are ongoing under the National Digital Transformation Agenda. I'll just quickly expand on those a little bit. Digital literacy, which is directly in line with what is happening with the Ministry of Education, but expanded across all of government. This initiative aims to provide members of the public with basic digital skills. This is just anybody walking around Trinidad and Tobago. Program started in the second half of 2022 in a partnership again with YTEP and the Ministry of Digital Transformation, with a cohort of 1,200 participants from a region from all over Trinidad and Tobago. That first cohort has been completed. It is interesting, of the 1,200 people that applied, 170 of them didn't have the devices or the internet access to participate in the program. Right now, that is being addressed by them working in our ICT centers and with us providing them with the necessary things to get the program done. No one will be left behind. The Community ICT Access Center program, which provides access, training, and mentorship to underserved communities, also supports students. And through the provision of homework supervision, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that, online access to educational content, which again is going to grow as the Ministry of Education rolls out access, and online research resources. The Community ICT Access program is also partnering with ALTA, the Adult Tutors Literacy Program, to offer the ALTA online program through the same centers. And in this regard, it should be noted that many of the beneficiaries of ALTA online are school children who have literacy challenges. So we're going to do that. Again, we have to partner with all sectors of society so that no one is left behind. Lastly, I'll speak about the Digital Skills Program, which is currently in an advanced stage of planning, and it speaks to build on the digital skills of the local workforce. The objective of the Digital Skills Initiative is to ensure that a critical mass of skilled coders and other ICT professionals and people who are just involved in it, that whole ICT community, is available to meet the growing needs of the ICT sector, including initiatives such as the Developers Hub, which you'll hear more about again coming in the near future. I was speaking with a friend of mine in the industry in Guyana, and he was telling me that they are having a serious problem finding people to work in technology. They would like to get some of our people from here to go work with them in the technology area. I'm sure the minister will be glad to oblige some of our graduates. Our support for the Ministry of Education, and that is at the Ministry of Digital Transformation, is not about a commonality of interest only, but it's about understanding the thinking and the business model behind the Ministry of Education's digital transformation strategy. The Ministry of Education Access Program it's built in-house, more or less, from the ground up. And this has required many divisions of the ministry with quite varied responsibilities and priorities to work together collaboratively and in partnership, and as I heard, many long nights. This is the approach that resonates with the Ministry of Digital Transformation and sets an important example for the wider national digital transformation agenda. Simply put, a critical success factor for digital transformation in Trinidad and Tobago is our ability to develop partnerships and collaborative arrangements between civil society, the private sector, and the government. And once you put that together, I am sure we'll guarantee a desirable outcome for all. In concluding, I'd like to, say that education and training and capacity building are essential for the success of the national digital transformation agenda. And in this regard, the success of MOE Access is also the success of the country. The Ministry of Digital Transformation is fully committed to supporting the Ministry of Education as we look at, in MDT at the way forward and the good outcomes that can be derived from the program. I just want to mention today, of course, being the International Down Syndrome Day, and we will do all we can to support them, and technology is supposed to be an enabler of things. I expect that that will happen, and I have, as most people, I guess, Schwanz, I am in solidarity and with them. With those few words, I thank you very much, and a successful MOE.
Thank you, Senator Backus, and we look forward to your ministry's continued partnership as we continue to roll our digital education products in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, let's learn more about MOE Access as we explore the digital solutions to some of the problems we have faced. After which we hear firsthand what this means for our students.
Modern education requires modern solutions to ensure equitable access to education for all. And with MOE Access Solutions, we are bringing digital resources to students, teachers, and parents. With our Student Learning Management System, or SLMS, over 600 schools have access to ebooks in math, English, and Spanish, created by the Curriculum Planning Division, and 70 primary and secondary pilot schools have full e-classrooms, allowing for blended learning through the Educational Technology Unit. The online resources facilitate access by parents and students to core learning tools and remote live streaming of classes. This defines a very new and integrated approach to most modes of learning. And with over 63,000 devices distributed and increased digital access via Wi-Fi at 134 secondary and 74 primary schools, teachers can incorporate technologies into classroom instruction, creating a more interactive and engaging educational experience. Visit moe.gov.tt today. MOE Access, unlocking the future of education.
All the multiple choice questions, for example, exams, I did it online. Students came into the lab and we were able to have them, do the exam on Google Classroom, for example. In some cases, students were able to use their phones in the class, way back in the back of the school, and be able to write the exams in the school. Also, the ability to be able to use YouTube videos on the fly, stuff like that. We were able to have more content, more different, different types of media to be able to accommodate the students who are visual or audio. So,
when I talk about agility, a system which is nimble is an education system which can easily switch from classroom environment to online learning from home. COVID-19 pandemic has taught us that actually the school is not just the school infrastructure, it's also happening at home.
Our school Wi-Fi has enabled me full access to information which helps me with research projects as well as other educational purposes. For example, helping us with research, being productive during free periods, catching up with homework, and for those who were not online, catching up with work as they get to school.
These are just 3 of the solution-based projects, and they most definitely deserve a round of applause. I now have the privilege to welcome Dr. the Honourable Nyan Gadsby Dolly, Minister of Education, to deliver remarks. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you kindly, Sarah. Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Penelope Beckles, Minister of Planning and Development, Senator the Honorable Hassel Bacchus, Minister of Digital Transformation, Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, the Honorable Lisa Morris-Julian, my partner in the struggle, Minister in the Ministry of Education, the Honorable Simon de Nobrega, Minister of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Assemblyman Zorisha Hackett, Secretary of Education, Research and Technology of the THA, Mr. Kurt Meyer, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education. Allow me to recognize the Head of the Public Service, P.S. Maurice Sweet, and other Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries who are here with us this morning. Dr. Peter Smith, Chief Education Officer, heads of department and other staff of the Ministry of Education, representatives of international agencies, denominational boards, and other education stakeholders, special invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning. I took the time to go through the protocol list because it was important for me to recognize all of our partners as we launch our digital transformation initiative this morning. On the 30th of August 1962, our first Prime Minister addressed these words to the students of our newly independent nation. On your scholastic development, the salvation of the nation is dependent. I'll repeat that. On your scholastic development, the salvation of the nation is dependent. This statement resonates deeply with me. And therefore, as we contemplate the digital transformation of the Ministry of Education today, it is in itself not an end. It is a means to an end. It's the means by which the scholastic development of all of our students can be heightened without fear or favor, malice or ill will. In today's world, education and technology enjoy a symbiotic relationship. And while the basic principles of an educational foundation remain unchanged and will arm our young ones for the future to some extent, combining these fundamentals with the power of digital technology will provide the robust educational experience that is required for our citizens to take their seat at the table and secure the salvation of the nation. The privilege is mine to address you today as the Ministry of Education launches MOE ACCESS, the digital transformation program of the Ministry of Education. And while we formally launched today, the Ministry of Education has been quietly but consistently adding digital solutions to its day-to-day operations, stocking its digital arsenal painstakingly, transforming on the trot. And all the staff of the ministry know exactly what that means. One of the greatest catalysts to this transformative process has been the COVID-19 pandemic experience, which catapulted the Ministry of Education forward at what was often an uncomfortable pace, but transformation is seldom comfortable, and change can be difficult. The Ministry of Education envisages modern, relevant, quality, equitable education for all, and a digital ecosystem that is seamless, functional, robust, and self-supporting with the capacity to expand is a critical component of this. The Ministry of Education's digital transformation program focuses on the achievement of 5 objectives: to support the embedding of digital technologies in teaching, learning, and assessment, to upgrade digital technology infrastructure in all schools, to promote administrative growth and increased value from service delivery improvements, to support vulnerable and marginalized populations within communities, and to apply dedicated funding and resources to facilitate upskilling of all personnel. Within the context of schools, this means a digital framework that supports learning, course content, assignments, e-testing, grades, shared documents, study tools, and data collection, seamlessly combined into a system that engages and monitors our students and provides facile solutions to the challenges of teachers and administrators. At the global table, our students and teachers cannot and will not compete if they are not versed in technology. Therefore, their learning experiences must be tailored to prepare them for the reality of a world that has gone digital. The National Development Strategy, Vision 2030, sets 3 clear mandates for the education sector in Trinidad and Tobago. 1, Trinidad and Tobago will have a modern, relevant, and accessible education and training system. 2, Trinidad and Tobago will have a seamless, reformed, high-quality education and training system. And 3, our population will be diversely educated, innovative, and entrepreneurial. From these mandates flow the vision of the Ministry of Education: modern, relevant, quality, equitable education for all. Digital transformation in every aspect of education implementation and management of the education sector is critical to fulfill this mandate and make the vision a reality. A major improvement in the efficiency of teacher human resource transactions can be achieved using digital solutions, and this has serious implications for teacher satisfaction and work ethic. From a pilot project that began in January 2023, over 1,600 Integrated Human Resource Information System, or IRIS, leave applications have been generated, over 1,600. The main users being, of course, teachers. This means that a teacher situated in Toko, Ikakas, or Guayagayari no longer has to commute to either a district or head office to submit relevant paperwork. Approval for a leave application has been reduced from weeks, sometimes months, to same day, and in some cases, minutes. The method of applying for a teaching registration number has gone from an in-person visit to education towers in Port of Spain to being only a click away on our teacher registration site, with a further integration into the full application and employment processes to be added soon. When we speak to digital usage, among the over 10,000 employees using our e-services, there have been over 24,000 requests for job letters in total, over 13,000 employees having accessed close to 160,000 payslips. This online service was first introduced in 2020, and given the usage numbers and short time span, has since been expanded to include a number of additional usability features, with upcoming added features to include, for example, a downloadable version of your TD4. MOE ACCESS means cost efficiencies, time efficiencies, and operational efficiencies. And just as a matter of interest, while I was a UE student, I worked at pay sheets in the Ministry of Education. It was a couple moons ago, not so long ago. And one of my jobs was writing out duplicate pay slips. People had to travel to Port of Spain to come, and we had to painstakingly write out a duplicate pay slip. So when I speak to over 13,000 employees accessing over 160,000 pay slips by the click of a button, it truly resonates with me, the ease that this has brought to our teaching service. The Ministry of Education has always used data as the basis for critical decision making, and digital solutions have made this data more easily accessible and reliable. Faster and easier access to data informs, for example, which schools have the highest level of absenteeism on any given day, and which ones require more focused attention based on student performance, which you can access via the student management system. It informs in minutes the schools that require immediate infrastructural attention via the School Infrastructure Management System. It can flag students, individual students, from our 225,000 odd students, based on reports from Student Support Services for early intervention. This has implications for student indiscipline. In 2022, parents and students were able to access, in the privacy of their homes, SEA results at 12 midnight on the release day. And for 2023, the results will be downloadable in PDF format, with secondary school principals having immediate digital access to the list of children assigned to their schools. Paper has been completely removed from the process, and you'll hear more about these and other initiatives later in the program. But what this means is that ministry can better direct limited resources to where they are needed the most. Digital transformation continues to be an ever-evolving and ongoing project. I want to emphasize this. It's not a one-time event. It is a continuous journey towards innovation and improvement, with constant monitoring and evaluation, always in seeking improvement. The Ministry of Education launches our digital transformation program today as we seek to bring all our stakeholders on board. We do this as we need everyone pulling in the same direction to achieve the goals. Education takes a village. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted many operational areas of the education sector, which can be better managed by the use of digital technology. Exceptional challenges require an equally exceptional response. The ministry has accepted the challenge to transform, and many of the staff members and partners present here today have played a crucial role in this process. I thank them all. To embrace the changes associated with the use of digital technology required a significant transformation in values, attitudes, and behaviors, the VABs spoken to in Vision 2030. To promote the development of progressive VABs required and will continue to require countless sensitization sessions, this is a big one, meetings, pilots, partnerships, team building initiatives, and collaborations. All hands on deck. This is the mantra as the Ministry of Education makes continuous strides, one project at a time, toward an education system that is adaptable, equitable, innovative, and resilient, capable of pivoting deftly in response to global changes and/or crises. The ministry is dedicated to empowering those who matter most, the students, teachers, and numerous stakeholders. We have no time to waste. We have no time to lose. Should we fail in this mission, our beloved nation of Trinidad and Tobago fails along with us. I wish to thank all the staff of the Ministry of Education who have contributed and continue to contribute to the digital transformation effort. On behalf of my colleague, Minister Lisa Morris-Julian, the Permanent Secretary and staff of the Ministry of Education, I pledge to Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry of Education understands what needs to be done. We are prepared to do the work, painstaking as it is and will be, as we see our role as critical for the continued development of Trinidad and Tobago and the realization of Vision 2030. Join us as we implement our digital transformation program to make modern, relevant, quality, equitable education a reality for all. May God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Gadsby Dolly, for your remarks and your clear vision in transforming policy into strategy, then into action. We continue in our MOE Access journey as we explore some of our digital systems designed to improve operational efficiencies across the ministry and hear from one of our ECCE administrator on how these digital systems are making life easier for our teachers, administrators, and decision makers in the MOE.
Digital transformation calls for an innovative redesign of existing systems to improve operational efficiencies. MOE Access Systems was created with principals, supervisors, teachers, and staff in mind. With its introduction in February 2023, this new feature of the Integrated Human Resource Information System, IHRIS, is manned by a core team within the HR division, allowing for the tracking and management of staff and delivery of HR services, leading to significant reductions in processing time for HR matters such as leave applications from weeks to mere minutes. The calculation of increments is more efficient, facilitating faster preparation of salary upgrades, pension, and leave. Via the school's infrastructure management system, SIMS, infrastructural issues are submitted online via a portal with real-time receipt at the MOE. This increases the efficiency of incident reporting and resolution, leading to shorter disruption in learning. Developed by the MOE ICT division, the Student Management System, SMS, is a central repository of information on students, from student grades and attendance to biodata, all at the fingertips of the principal. The MOE can now better track a student's educational journey, providing transparent and seamless access to transferable reports and records. Visit moe.gov.tt today. MOE Access, unlocking the future of education.
And I believe that the SIMS platform, it prepares you for transition. For example, as a leader, sometimes you are required to move to another district. Sometimes you have persons who retire or resign or may be ill. So what it does is ease access. It prevents for that succession planning as well. It allows the next person who's going to take charge of the center. All the information is here, and it also shows you the present status of the submission that you would have made.
I am sure you can already see firsthand the impact of these new systems across our schools. We now move to our last pillar of transformation. Our e-services, that through our upgraded and refreshed website, moe.gov.tt, makes accessing information, services and training and development programs more accessible anywhere and anytime.
Technology has enabled the Ministry of Education to provide e-services of the highest level to teachers and staff, students and parents. MOE Access Services allows teachers convenient access to a collection of up-to-date resources for self-paced learning via the Professional Development Toolkit. This library of digital resources is being curated and created by the Teacher Educational and Professional Development Division and is aimed at enhancing the professional development of our educators. It will allow educators to self-train in areas of ICT and best practice web-based approaches of learning. All staff can log into our easy-to-use dashboard for instant access to job letters, electronic TD4s, and payslips, saving costs on printed payslips and saving time. Our user-friendly interface also displays staff's year-to-date earnings and total compensation. Launched in June 2022, SEA Portal was developed internally by the ICTD and gives online access to results for parents and students, with the new feature of downloadable PDF available in 2023. Safe, easy, instant. Launched in November 2022, the Digital Teacher Registration e-service is an efficient, effective, and convenient method to receive and process applications from prospective teacher candidates. Soon-to-be added features will enable the seamless integration with an internally developed online recruitment platform to substantially improve the speed, accuracy, and transparency of all back-end recruitment activities undertaken by the ministry, reducing the time taken to fill teaching vacancies. Visit moe.gov.tt today. MOE Access, unlocking the future of education.
This is on the Spanish program. It's exceptionally interesting for young minds, and of course, being a Spanish inclined person, it's a pleasure to see the ministry working towards improving the second language of Trinidad and Tobago, and also the emphasis on the e-book approach to teaching and learning.
I used my smartphone to navigate the platform. It was easy to access all of the videos and the content that was there. A lot of resources are available for teachers to be able to use at both the primary and secondary level that will assist them in creating lessons and creating content for their classes. So I was very impressed with what I saw.
The work has been really wonderful experience, the first project for CAF and the Ministry of Education. We are looking forward to scaling up and to building on these successful experiences to provide an even more effective support and to contribute to the goals of the ministry for the next years.
We now have the ability to have local content available for our education sector, which means that education is not just going to be mere information, but it also gives the opportunity to apply it in a setting or in a context that the students are familiar with, which will now make it easier for them to transition that information when required, probably in the wider world context.
This may not be a problem for me, but I am sure many of you in the room have had need of your payslip or job letter in the past and have had to wait days for the latter to be processed. Well, let's take a look and see real-time how the MOE Access e-service for requesting a payslip and job letter actually works. Mr. Leroy Jenkins has agreed to do a demo from right here in the room.
Welcome to the live ePortal demonstration. We will be going through how to access the ePortal service and retrieve your automated payslip and job letter. We begin on the Ministry of Education website, moe.gov.tt, which is the central hub for all our services, systems, and solutions. To access the ePortal, we go to eServices and click on Job Letter and Payslip Request. This will take us to the ePortal service. We click on Sign In, and we log in with our approved and assigned Ministry of Education email, followed by our password. This takes us to the main ePortal dashboard. On this dashboard, we can see information relating to your job and personal details. To access our payslip, we click on the Payslips tab. Here, we can see details relating to our monthly earnings. Below our statistics, we can access our payslip. In this case, we will access our payslip for the current month. Here, we have a digital render of our payslip. To acquire our official payslip, we click Download PDF. Opening the PDF, we can see our official payslip, which includes verification ID and a QR code which can be scanned to verify the authenticity of the digital document. Now, we will access our job letter via the Job Letter tab. Here, we have access to our job letter for general use or embassy usage. So, we will first access a general job letter. Here, you can see a digital render of the job letter, and similar to payslips, we download PDF to access our official job letter. Here you can see the verification necessary codes when you download it. In addition to a general job letter, you can access an embassy job letter by scrolling through the list of available embassies, or you can search for a particular embassy in the search bar. In this case, we will search for the United Kingdom and click for a UK embassy job letter. Here, the necessary details will be included, and similar to before, download PDF to get your official embassy job letter. This concludes the live demonstration of the ePortal service.
And based on my programming, access to your TD4 will be next. If you haven't done so just yet, I invite you to visit moe.gov.tt and join the transformation as we unlock the future of education. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my first day on the job at the Ministry of Education, and it has been my extreme pleasure to spend this time with you. I thank you for allowing me the honor to take you through the MOE Access journey. I invite my co-host Radel back to the stage to take you through the rest of this morning's program. Thank you, and I am sure we will meet again. This is Sarah powering down. Goodbye.
I think Sarah did a very good job, and she deserves another round of applause. But I'm a little concerned because I understand she doesn't need vacation, sick leave, lunch. So we have to rethink Sarah. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, to deliver the feature address. Please stand and welcome him to the stage.
Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, my cabinet colleague and Minister of Education, Senator the Honorable Hasselbachers, Minister of Digital Transformation, my other cabinet colleagues, Assemblyman Zorisha Hackett, Secretary of Education, Research and Technology at the Tobago House of Assembly, Mr. Kurt Meyer, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, other Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Dr. Peter Smith, Chief Education Officer, heads of departments and other staff of the Ministry of Education, representatives of international agencies, representatives of denominational boards and other educational stakeholders, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning. I'm interested to see what Sarah's payslip looked like. Probably looks like the Prime Minister's pittance, but I'm sure, given the innovative nature of the ministry stepping out, it probably is in six figures. But seriously, ladies and gentlemen, today is one of those days in this job that I am particularly pleased to be associated with the day's work and these days' proceedings. A few years ago, when I became Prime Minister of this country, one of the requirements was to reduce government's expenditure. And one of the things I had to do was to reduce the size of the cabinet. At that time, ministerial numbers were 33. Since then, we have been running the government with 23 ministers, 23 ministries. And two of those ministries are of particular interest to me and of significance to the country going forward. One was the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, as a new ministry, but fundamental to what we had to do. And even more importantly, and more urgently, was the Ministry of Digital Transformation, which is headed by an expert, an experienced person, and an enthusiastic minister, in this case in education. And this morning, I am pleased to have looked forward to a day like this, and the day would have come where we have been taken to spend the morning with Sarah and to see the Ministry of Education in the modern technological world. Recently, I saw one of our commentators writing that, yes, it was a good thing to have a Ministry of Digital Transformation, but nothing happening. But again, this is Trinidad and Tobago. Because you don't know, because you don't put yourself in a position to know, nothing happening. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot is happening. And you would have seen today, and I hope the nation, especially the ministry and our young children, see that digital transformation is changing invitingly, encouragingly, the future of our young people and by extension our nation. A lot is happening. Let me take a moment to welcome those of you who are joining us remotely to today's launch of the Ministry of Education Digital Transformation Program. I congratulate Dr. Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, our hardworking Minister of Education, and her team at the ministry for this excellent initiative, which is designed to accelerate our children's use of digital technologies in their educational pursuits. Today's launch marks a continuation of the good work that the ministry has been doing to leverage technology in order to deliver improved access to education for citizens. For example, we have seen the development and expansion of the school learning management system, with which our students and parents directly interface. We have also seen the provision of end-to-end service delivery for the Ministry of Education's applications process for the award of national scholarships and bursaries, as well as GATE. Of course, these are just two of the e-services which are currently available. And as Minister Bacchus has indicated, we will continue to significantly increase e-services in the near future. I believe that the name MOE ACCESS is extremely appropriate. One of my government's guiding principles is our commitment to ensuring that our citizens have the opportunity to access the services, the tools, and other resources needed to enable them to live, work, and prosper as we overcome the many challenges of the recent past. The MOE Access initiative brings together two key elements of the government strategy for achieving sustainable development in Trinidad and Tobago. The first is the priority that we have placed on education and our steadfast commitment to ensuring that all citizens, especially our young people, are equipped to navigate today's fast-paced and rapidly evolving world. This is best illustrated in the fact that in the 2023 budget estimates, out of a projected total expenditure of $57.68 billion, some $7.45 billion, or just under 13%, has been allocated to the Ministry of Education. It is the single largest allocation to any government ministry, larger even than the funding assigned to the Ministry of Health, which got $6.892 billion, or 11.95% of this year's budget, and the Ministry of National Security, which got $5.79 billion, or slightly above 10%. These are the second and third largest allocations, respectively. This demonstrates just how seriously we take the business of education in Trinidad and Tobago. The second element that we are focusing on today is, of course, digital technology, which presents significant opportunities for us here in this country. The opportunities are limitless. As we discovered recently, the resilience of our people and our capacity to pivot and adapt enabled us to immediately make transition from an in-person to an online environment. Where possible, we worked online from home. We socialized, celebrated birthdays, weddings, and held family reunions, and grieved for the loss of our loved ones via the internet. How many of us are going to funerals now on the phone or on the iPad? We are able to continue our education online, and for this, I extend my profound thanks and appreciation to our students and their families, our teachers and educators, and the teaching institutions themselves, all of whom work so hard to deliver the educational and instructional content online. What these events have shown us is that digital technology, when appropriately deployed and made accessible to everyone, has the power to positively transform our lives for the better. Transformation also means that we have to change. We have to change the way that we are used to doing things, to step out of our comfort zones and face a degree of uncertainty and disruption in our daily lives. We have to acknowledge that there are things that we do not yet know, or the impacts emerging technologies will have, but we must have a balanced outlook. If we talk about artificial intelligence, simply called AI by the experts, artificial intelligence offers us a future previously unimagined, where we are transported by driverless vehicles if we are brave enough, transported in comfort and safety if we believe the engineers, where our groceries and purchases are delivered by drones, and where automated chatbots offer sufficient personalized services. And for those without companions, we have Alexia. Yeah, we have the company of Alexia. However, there are also deep-seated concerns over the extent to which AI will make many jobs redundant, and about the potential negative impact caused by the replacement of human operators by automated customer service representatives. Let me hasten to reassure you that indeed, while jobs are being redundant, new jobs are emerging at an even faster rate. Who remembers putting film in a camera, taking many pictures to capture a single usable image, trudging to a photo studio with film safely in hand to be developed in a dark room and to order prints, only to find that 3/4 of them out of focus? These jobs have indeed disappeared, and they have been replaced by more technologically advanced jobs and, of course, result in faster service delivery for the customers. The list of job evolution and revolution is long, and now all we have are the memories of the Kodak moments and their associated historical jobs. Respect to the Internet of Things. This is a technology that allows devices to be connected to the Internet. The many potential benefits of doing this includes the ability to significantly increase our safety and security by remote monitoring, the physical safety of our homes, improve community safety through the early detection of natural disasters, such as flooding, and the use of IoT devices for telehealth. This is the age of Alexia, the tireless, dutiful assistant, and the ever-present drones used for all kinds of purposes. On the other hand, there's a need to ensure that the vast quantities of data collected via IoT devices is not misused, nor does it fall into the wrong hands to be used for the wrong purpose. And you know I'm talking about social media. The emergence of that thing called social media has opened up communication in ways that we could not have imagined 10 years ago, 5 years ago in some instances. Only yesterday I saw somebody in the United States, a child, a student, suing Snapchat, Facebook, and YouTube for damaging her life. Did you see that? We are able to interact with like-minded persons across the world easily, often in real time. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, it kept many of us in touch with our families and friends, even those living in other countries, or worse, those who were dying without contact with the rest of the family. Social media platforms have become facilitators for the sharing of information, enabled the development of virtual communities, and even acted as drivers for micro-entrepreneurship. There's also an urgent need to better understand and to manage the darker side of social media, as evidenced by growing concerns over online safety, cybercrime, and social engineering, and the increasing spread of deliberate misinformation called fake news. We have a responsibility to ensure that we manage the introduction of new digital technologies in an orderly and responsible manner, lest uncertainty becomes concern, concern becomes doubt, and doubt becomes fear and paranoia. Our young people can be shielded from, but not insulated from these developments that are in fact their world. We just have to teach them good values and help them to cope. I assure you that cybersecurity remains high on the government's agenda. With the promise of these new opportunities come the need for increased security. In collaboration with leading global experts, we are addressing the rules governing cybersecurity in the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Here we are exploring the ways in which we can strengthen them. We will place every mechanism in place to secure our students and keep them from exposure to harmful elements as far as we are able to. We will also equip them with knowledge so they can either avoid these risks or know how to address them if they do present themselves in their lives. There will be multiple levels of protection and awareness campaigns to build our national cybersecurity literacy levels. Our nation stands on the brink of this new frontier that presents both great opportunity and potential for adversity. I put it to you, however, that we do not have much of a choice but to go along the road of change and transformation. As I would have said in my contribution in the budget debate back in September last year, that although we continue to depend on oil and gas as our primary source of income, and will do so for the immediate future, we are acutely aware that in the long term, there will be a need to develop other sources of income. The MDT has a number of initiatives to support the increase in the contribution of the ICT sector to GDP, which simultaneously serves the purpose of economic development and supporting the bridges that the Ministry of Education is creating through this Digital Transformation Trust. For example, through its Developers Hub initiative, it is creating an ecosystem where our young people and our entrepreneurs can get access to infrastructure, training, and mentorship to become tech-savvy in their own right. We will harness the raw talent of our bright minds, challenge them to push the boundaries of innovation, developing solutions for existing problems, or creating avenues to capitalize on potential strengths and opportunities. The ministry will also soon be embarking on a program, a competition if you prefer, to fund the end-to-end creation of an electronic solution from idea to proof of concept to production and marketing. We want to ensure that everyone has a fair chance and ability to access these exciting opportunities. This supports one of our priorities, the development of our own local human capital. It is an urgent one and is consistent with Goal 4 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is to, and I quote, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. For us in Trinidad and Tobago, this vision for our education system is not a nice to have. The fulfillment of Goal 4 of the SDGs is a matter of national survival, as we strive to ensure that our people are equipped with all necessary skills, training, and tools to enable them to compete, innovate, create, and ultimately prosper despite the many challenges that we are facing as a nation. Fortunately, Trinidad and Tobago has a rich, creative pool of talented young people. Given the opportunity, we excel. Our nationals are to be found everywhere on earth, and where they are to be found, they are invariably respected for their creativity, their intelligence, and interestingly enough, their ability to work hard, especially outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Our late great founding father, Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, famously quoted as saying that, and I quote, "The future of our nation is in the school bags of our children," unquote. Dr. Williams made that statement some 60 years ago, shortly after Trinidad and Tobago gained its independence. More than half a century and many advances in technology later, his words still hold true. In the meantime, the school bags of our children have evolved into laptops, tablets, and mobile devices. And these, like the book bags, hold the key of our future. It is for this reason that as representative of the children in my own constituency of Diego Martin West, during the darkest days of the pandemic, I spent a lot of time and effort preparing to provide a gift of this technology to my primary school students from Carnage to Diego Martin. As a result, we were able to establish and provide a computer lab class in all 7 primary schools in our constituency, preparing them for the journey into the tech-filled world. The MOE ACCESS suite of initiatives adopts a holistic and systematic approach to the infusion of digital technology into our education ecosystem. The wide-ranging scope of this initiative includes infrastructure and hardware projects, that is Wi-Fi in schools and the school laptop program. And I'm advised by the Minister of Education that virtually every student in secondary and primary as well have access to the use and training, exposure to these technologies. Learning tools, example, textbooks, the use of open educational learning resources, and I may guess, electronic boards. We have those too. Getting there. Applications and e-services. This morning we saw a demonstration of e-service, getting the place. I tell you a joke. I had a very close supporter in my constituency, talked a lot. He was a low-level functionary in one of the government departments, I think it was the Treasury. And he was earning the handsome salary of $4,000 and something a month. And he wanted a pay slip. Because you always have to get his pay slips to go and get your loans and your... So he increased his by putting a 1 in front of the 4. He didn't change the numbers. He didn't change the letters. He just put the 1. Because it's easy. Of course, he got himself arrested. But I wonder if you were exposed to that in the demonstration this morning. Sarah will take care of that, right? Okay. But applications for e-services like the SCA results portal, school infrastructure, and issue management, the SIMS. But even as we celebrate the Ministry of Education's achievement this morning, I would like to draw to your attention the high priority that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has placed on digital transformation across the entire public sector. It is not just the Ministry of Education that is enjoying this step forward. Now there are a number of other ministries who have made some significant progress already, and we are getting the benefits of those, and we are circling around two major ministries right now, health and social services. And I trust that next year, God willing, I'll be invited to do something like this in health or in education, and that would be where we would have broken the backbone of digitizing the public service in Trinidad and Tobago. The pace of digital transformation in government has been accelerating over the past few years and will continue to do so during 2023. In this year, the proposed investment by the government of Trinidad and Tobago in digitalization and digitization and projects in these areas across the public sector is more than $437 million, an increase of 30% over the expenditure in 2022. That should indicate the pace at which we're going and the importance of the prioritization of digital transformation in our nation. For example, through the Ministry of Digital Transformation, we have approved and accelerated construction or outfitting of ICT access centers across Trinidad and Tobago. These centers represent a physical space where our citizens who do not have ready access to personal digital technology or do not quite yet understand the full range of abilities and possibilities that technology can provide can go to access, interact, and learn about how it all works. They are in these communities that have been identified as being underserved or are digitally excluded. And we have seen in those the operation that staff the centers who come from within the community themselves have expanded their roles to create homework supervision programs, to help students conduct online research, print homework, provide small certification programs in literacy and coding, and other such helpful services. The centers are also working with the Adult Literacy Teaching Association to host online training courses, and this is being widened to include other agencies such as the Blind Welfare Association to target those sectors of our society that must be included in the digital transformation dialogue. The program is about inclusivity and collective development. On this note, I think that it would be useful to say something about how the government is setting about the task of implementing the various digital transformation initiatives on which we are currently focused. As you may have deduced from the earlier statements from Minister Gadsby-Dolly and Minister Backus, the government is pursuing digital transformation at two distinct, although highly interconnected levels. On the one hand, as Minister Backus has explained, the Ministry of Digital Transformation has a responsibility for a number of cross-cutting initiatives that will create the necessary enabling environment for digital transformation. The Ministry of Digital Transformation projects will have a national or public service-wide impact and also require close collaboration between and among multiple agencies with government as well as the private sector and civil society. On the other hand, as exemplified by today's launch of MOE ACCESS, many ministries, departments, and agencies are pursuing their own digital transformation initiatives, although the implementation and resourcing of these projects will generally require close collaboration with all other arms of government, especially Ministry of Finance, as well as the Ministry of Digital Transformation itself. And the overall responsibility for driving these projects lies within the particular lead ministry. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again congratulate the Minister of Education and her team for MOE ACCESS initiative. MOE ACCESS has already made a positive impression on me, my colleagues, on you, and I dare say on the wider user stakeholder fraternity. And I'm sure that our teachers will be much more comfortable in using the system for day-to-day service, and our students will be excited by the offerings. And the feedback that we're getting, if it is to be gauged by that which came when the SEA results were available, is good and will get better. And very soon we'll ask ourselves, how did we ever get by without it? I turn my attention to provide encouragement to the recipients of these major investment initiatives on which we have embarked. And that is our very precious young people, who we must nurture, protect, and develop in all they do. Our parents, guardians, and spiritual leaders who are charged with the responsibility for their growth and development in all areas. Our educators at all levels, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Our supervisors and all staff at the Ministry of Education with the responsibility for making sure that the generation in front of you and the next generation is educated. Yours is a sacred trust. In your hands, you hold our future. The nation is counting on you to guide the development of all our young people to becoming good, competent, disciplined, and productive citizens of our beloved country. I would therefore like to conclude by wishing the Ministry of Education well on its MOE ACCESS initiative. This important venture will significantly advance the infusion of digital technology into our education system and support the government's strategic thrust towards sustainable development at the national level. May God continue to bless us in all our successes. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. And on behalf of the executive and staff of the Ministry of Education, I thank you for your stewardship and for sharing your thoughts on digital transformation in the context of national development as we work towards the development goals set by the Vision 2030 roadmap. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I bid you farewell as we bring the formal launch of the MOE ACCESS to a close. There's so much for which we are thankful and so many persons to thank. I therefore invite Dr. Peter Smith, Chief Education Officer, to deliver the closing remarks and move the vote of thanks. After which, ladies and gentlemen, you are invited some light refreshments as you view the cruise ship that is in our port this morning. Thank you. Powering down, Rodell.
Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, our host ministers, Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, Minister of Education, Lisa Morris-Julian, other ministers of government, permanent secretaries, deputy permanent secretaries, stakeholders in education, Ministry of Education staff, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning. It has been such an honor to participate in this milestone event in the Ministries of Education digital transformation journey. We have indeed come a long way and made significant advancements and inroads for which we are truly thankful. The Roman philosopher Marcus Cicero said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, I have the pleasure of expressing gratitude to all of you for attending our digital transformation launch this morning. And so, it is with gratitude I say thanks, firstly, to our Permanent Secretary, Kurt Meyer, who has the responsibility for the digital transformation agenda. Thank you, PS, for your welcome and opening remarks, which set the tone for today's function. We accept your invitation to join this exciting journey of unlocking the future of education. Special thanks to Senator the Honorable Hassel Bacchus, Minister of Digital Transformation, whose remarks provided insights regarding the role of his ministry in the government's digital transformation plan. Honorable Minister, we appreciate you coming and sharing such vital information with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we express gratitude to our Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, for that very inspiring and informative presentation. Indeed, this launch further assures students and stakeholders that the Ministry of Education continues to strive towards creating an education system that is adaptable, equitable, innovative, and resilient. Special thanks to our featured speaker, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Honorable Prime Minister, your vision for the country, one with a robust digital infrastructure to support good governance through improved public sector service delivery, cost and time efficiencies, applies to how every ministry must do its business. It is the guiding principle for this program, and we do hope we are hitting the right note. We thank you for accepting our invitation and delivering the feature address. Thank you very much. I say thank you to the staff of the Ministry of Education, Educational Technology Unit, the Information and Communication Technology Division, and DevOps teams, and their former director, Mr. Corey Belfon, Iris, and the members of the Corporate Communications Division, who all contributed significantly in making this a successful event. It would be remiss of me if I omitted the management and staff of the Hyatt Hotel, Media 22, Royalty Club, and Songroom Productions, our service providers, and technical teams for the roles you played in today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of Minister Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly and Minister Lisa Morris-Julian, thank you for attending the Ministry of Education's Digital Transformation launch, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you very much.